Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. If you've ever thought about getting serious on the dance floor, you've probably hit this really fascinating crossroads, right at the starting line. Competitive ballroom dance essentially offers two completely different worlds for learning to move with a partner, Latin and standard. And honestly, it is wild just how fundamentally different these two paths are. Think of it like, well, it's a lot like comparing an Olympic figure skater to an Olympic track sprinter. Both are elite, both require insane discipline and immense body control, but the mechanics, the energy, and the culture of the movements, completely worlds apart. So today we're going to break down these two tracks. We'll look at the music, the physical mechanics, and the unique characteristics of each style to help you solve this dilemma and figure out exactly which path you should take. Let's get right into it. I want you to treat this explainer as your own personal taste test. As we go through the data and the differences, put yourself in the driver's seat. Ask yourself, which style actually resonates with your personality, your body, and your goals? Because matching your training to your natural preferences isn't just about having a fun Friday night. It actually leads to way faster progress, better muscle memory retention, and crucially, a lot more long-term motivation. So, which track is right for you? Let's find out. Section 1. Two Paths of Ballroom. Shared Fundamentals. Okay, let's dive into this. Before we pull these two styles apart to see what makes them so wildly different, we kind of have to acknowledge what brings them together. Because whether you go standard or Latin, both paths are built on the exact same overarching pillars: connection, timing, and technique. You're never abandoning one of these concepts just because you chose a different track. Connection is literally the invisible language spoken between you and your partner. Whether you're maintaining a rigid, spacious frame in a waltz or using tension and compression through a single handhold in the cha-cha, that language of lead and follow has to be flawless. Then there's timing, the undeniable heartbeat of your movement, dictating how you interpret the rhythm. And of course, technique, the precise footwork, the center balance. That's what lets you move safely and beautifully. The dedication required to master these is identical. So rest assured, no matter which path you take, you are building a deeply, solid, universally applicable foundation for partner dancing. Section 2. Music and Rhythm. Finding your sound. The absolute best place to start this decision-making process is with the soundtrack you actually want to spend hours moving to. Let's think about standard first. Picture moving to these smoother, incredibly elegant 4/4 or 3/4 time signatures. We're talking the sweeping grace and aristocratic roots of the Viennese waltz, the steady dramatic drive of the tango, or that smooth, jazzy stroll of the foxtrot. The styling here completely prioritizes flow. The music compels you to create a beautiful, unbroken visual line across the floor. But if you want a totally different energy, Latin leans into highly percussive, heavily syncopated rhythms. It's faster. It's infectious. You've got the Afro-Brazilian festival energy of the samba, the sharp Cuban motion of the cha-cha, the romantic, agonizing pull of the rumba, and the massive swing-era bounce of the jive. When you hear this music, rhythmic accents and sharp body actions are central. It demands that your body physically responds to the punch of the percussion. Section 3. Sway versus bounce. The feel. Now, what's really interesting about this is that the physical sensation between the two is practically night and day inside your body. Standard features this broad, sweeping, gliding frame with a very upright, expansive posture. It uses advanced mechanics like contrabody movement and a traveling rise and fall technique that creates a wonderful, continuous sense of pendular motion. Done right, you literally feel like you are perpetually floating across the room. Over in the Latin world, remarkably different physical sensation. Latin focuses heavily on grounded action. You are actively working down into the floor, using the pressure against the wood to generate expressive hip movement, ribcage isolations, and dramatic shaping. Instead of a continuous floating glide, you'll feel sharper, lightning-fast weight transfers and a much more clearly articulated beat, moving intensely through every joint in your body. Section 4. What judges reward? Scoring criteria. Understanding how these styles are scored in a competitive setting gives you an incredible insider look into exactly what each discipline values most. When you step onto the floor for standard, the judges' eyes are immediately drawn to the overall look of your top line. They want to see incredible core control and a highly consistent, unbroken frame maintained across complex travel patterns. It's all about sustained, flawless, seamless motion without ever disturbing the connection to your partner. But in the Latin categories, routines are judged on a completely different set of priorities. The judges are scrutinizing your strict rhythmic accuracy, the authentic quality and volume of your hip action, and your absolute clarity of character. Actually, scratch that. Let's define that. What do we mean by clarity of character? It means you aren't just executing the steps, you are telling the specific cultural story of that dance. Are you exuding the cheeky athletic bounce of the jive? Or are you capturing the fierce, passionate tension of a paso doble? Ultimately, standard asks for pristine precision in motion, while Latin demands dynamic precision in expression. Section 5. Choosing your track. Find your match. So, which of these two worlds matches your instincts? Do you enjoy the idea of precision posture? Do you want smooth, continuous travel? And do you love the idea of building long, elegant, architectural visual lines with your partner? If that sounds like you, standard is going to feel incredibly rewarding right from the start. You'll likely thrive in meticulous lessons that emphasize frame integrity and alignment drills. On the flip side, do you crave musicality and dramatic contrast? Do you want a physically active, pulsating rhythm where you can unleash your own individual flair while still dancing dynamically with a partner? If so, Latin is calling your name. You'll probably love energetic sessions focused on rhythm isolations, fast footwork, and highly expressive character acting. Paying attention to these natural personality signals is a fantastic predictor of your early success. So, the crucial point here is this. If you're feeling a bit overwhelmed by the weight of this choice, remember that the core fundamentals we just talked about, partner connection, timing, balance, and clear footwork, are completely universal. Mastering your balance keeps you from stepping on your partner's toes, whether you're floating smoothly in a waltz or bouncing frantically in a jive. These strong, shared basics make every single dance easier. The styles might look like two entirely different languages on the competition floor, but the grammatical rules behind them are wonderfully similar. And this brilliantly illustrates a highly practical roadmap to help you figure it out. You don't have to just guess. You can test the waters. Step 1. Try both. Taking a short, beginner-level trial class in both disciplines is for sure the absolute best way to confirm what actually energizes you in practice. Get out there and feel the difference in the frames yourself. Step 2. Ask your instructor to walk you through a bronze-level starting syllabus. Getting a taste of the intro patterns gives you a concrete idea of what your first 6 months of training will actually look like. And Step 3. Check your playlists. Match your choice to the music you already instinctively enjoy dancing to. Love big band swing and Latin pop? Start with Latin. Love classical, jazz, and sweeping orchestral scores? Look towards standard. Ultimately, the right track is the one that keeps you practicing. I want to leave you with this fantastic quote directly from our source material because it cuts right through all the technical jargon, the competition rules, and the mechanics. Personal motivation is the single most important metric in dance. Learning to move your body in these highly specific ways takes repetition. It's a grind. Practicing basic Roomba walks or drilling your waltz box steps for hours requires genuine passion. If the sweeping, cinematic music of a waltz gets you out of bed and into the studio on a rainy Tuesday, that's your track. If the fire and intricate rhythms of the samba make you want to drill your footwork until the lights go out, then Latin is your answer. So, the final question is, which track will keep you practicing? I really hope this explainer has given you the clarity and the structural breakdown to answer that question for yourself. Think about the music you love, the physical feeling you naturally crave, and the style of expression that fits your unique personality. Now, there's literally only one thing left to do. It's time to get out there, step onto the dance floor, and start exploring.